Vice President Joe Biden, he took Donald Trump to the woodshed today over his remarks about election results and national security. Let's listen in.
And he said, quote, "Our country has no idea." This is so fundamental. What an indictment of who we are. What an indictment of our capabilities. What an indictment of our military. Sending a message that flies into what Putin is doing in Russia, saying America's weak, they're crippled, they cannot move forward. That's how he's keeping support in Russia. And then he says, as a major party candidate, for the world to hear, playing into the hands of Putin, that our country has no idea. Can you fathom any presidential candidate ever having said that, or would they say that? Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is far beyond a bad character with women. That's enough to disqualify him. But ladies and gentlemen, last night, here's what he said. This guy representing the grand old party about Mosul. I have been put in charge of Iraq going back to 2009 by the president. A month after we're in, Secretary of State, National Security Advisor, Secretary of Defense all came in and said, here's how we laid out your plan for Iraq, Mr. President, and he turned, without telling me, he said, no, Joe will do Iraq. He knows more about it than you guys. You listen to Joe. I said, that doesn't help me much, Mr. President. But all kidding aside, I've been doing this a long, long time, back when I was chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. We know what's in Mosul. We know ISIS is there, or they call it Daesh in the Middle East. We know who's in Raqqa in Syria, the other part of the caliphate. We know they are plotting and planning attacks on the United States of America. Our intelligence knows they're there. This has been a plan underway for some time. And this man says, and by the way, folks, those of you who've traveled a lot know, the world listens to everything we say because so much of what we do, they have to depend on for their freedom and security. And what does this guy say? This guy says, quote, the only reason why they did it, meaning move on Mosul, is because she's running for the office of president and they want her to look tough. Can you imagine this guy becoming commander-in-chief and getting 1 ounce of respect from a single, solitary military man or woman? I said, and I was criticized, my son Bo, who passed away, was a decorated war hero, a year in Iraq and a civilian volunteer for a year in Kosovo. No, that's not what I'm saying. I said, thank God I don't have to worry about whether my son is still there, because he plays into the hands of our enemies so uniquely. It's either he is so stupid that he doesn't understand. No, it's possible. It's possible he doesn't understand the damage he's doing.